Awesome. So what do you think caused you to stand out to be able to connect with those that you have connected with?
Work ethic. I think even more than talent, my love for music, my love for the craft of music, it's work ethic. The town that I grew up in, Ohio, it wasn't as aggressive as even coming to Salisbury. And now, people look at Salisbury, it's like a little country town. There was a lot that went on there, and it was a good training ground for a lot of people. But it wasn't the environment that the East Coast possessed. It wasn't that energy, it wasn't that aggression. And so coming out here was like, oh wow. So kind of with that in mind, I had to play catch up talent-wise to what other guys had been exposed to their entire lives. Like, we grew up in a very, it was very vanilla. The church that we went to, just very straight by the book A&E church, where it's like played out the hymnal, and that's just what it was. And then we walk here, and it's like, oh, they're creating these things in real time on the spot. They're playing it by ear, et cetera, et cetera. And so again, I was playing catch up to that. Okay. Which meant to me that I had to work harder for it. When I show up places now, a lot of times for people that I've worked with before, there's somewhat of a relief, which is humbling, because they know somebody's listened to their music. They know that somebody has paid very, very close attention to the nuances and the details of it. They know they're going to be taken care of, and they're going to be respected and prioritized. Not just like, oh, well, that's so-and-so from up the street, so like, I'm worried about the big artist that I have to play for later on this week. It's like, no, I still owe it to you, as a professional, and as a person who never knows who walks into that room and who's influenced by what's happening on stage, to say, like, I owe it to you to give you my best as well. And so I think that spirit is something that kind of has kept me working. And you still got to be talented at what you do. Like, there's no doubt about that. But to know that, somebody actually cares, because this can be a very competitive, but also dark kind of industry as well. Like, very cutthroat. Sometimes people just want to feel cared about. And that's all. It's as simple as that. So I'm glad to wear that, and if that is a thing that continuously keeps me working, I'm happy that that's what I'm known for. That whole mantra of, like, people may remember what you do, but they will remember how you make them feel.
I live by that.
Yeah, that's a thing.
Yeah, somebody you hope to collab with.
Ooh, of current, I'm a huge her fan. Just the immense talent that she has. She plays a million instruments. She's an alien. She was a Disney kid. I don't think that many people knew that, outside of people who would be aware of her actual upbringing. Because for a while, she was just a silhouette. Nobody even knew like what that was unless you were kind of somewhat in the know. But when she got signed at like 14, I believe, 14 or 15. She was a prodigy songwriter. Like, that was the reason why they signed her. And so to even have your thoughts together in a way at 14, 15 that people want your fortune, like, what perspective do you have in the world? What kind of life have you lived so far to be able to be a prodigious songwriter at that age? Like, what's your context? What's your gauge? What have you seen, young lady, to be able to tap into any of that stuff? So that's my understanding of her upbringing and her thing, and to see that she took off relatively fast. I mean, I saw her pop up in like 2016 or 17. So you're talking about 5-6 years tops where she's been super public. But every single time we turn on any award show or any major sporting event, like, her name is somewhere swirling around it. It speaks to the general public's appreciation for her, and us as musicians who work on stage with these artists who, like, oh, now we're just dealing with another musician, man. And she's, from all that I know, she's super cool. extremely musical while also still being very industry relevant. I think she toes a lot of lines and does it almost to perfection. I would love to work with her. I look at guys like Lucky Day, who kind of piques my interest as well, because he's respected by the legends. When you have Earth, Wind, and Fire wanting to jump on your song, that says that they believe that there's something in this kid that speaks to their days of old, where it was like, oh no, we got a 20-piece band, and we're doing the music, we're doing the key changes, and it's like it's real music compared to what they would probably characterize a lot of what's happening today. So for them to see that, I think is respectable. Another guy is Jacob Collier. He gets the Herbie Hancocks and the Quincy Jones. He gets their stamp, and he might be 25 now, but he popped out as a teenager just playing a million instruments. He can diagnose the theory of music in ways that I don't think we've ever dreamed of. So of the three talents of today that I think are out there, those are the three that it's like, man, to be a part of those operations, I think there's a lot to learn. But it's also like that would be wildly fulfilling. And probably my one of a little bit older, and who knows when he's going to pop out again, would probably be D'Angelo. I think there's just an old nostalgic love for his particular art, even though you can't understand like half of what he's saying.
Right.
There's just a vibe, and I'm down for the vibe. So yeah.
So tell us about your mom. What's something that you learned from your mom that was pretty cool?
Golly, just man, so much. I feel like in so many ways I'm her person now. Her care, her compassion, her patience. I carry a lot of those same things. So the things that I've learned from her really kind of all revolve around just caring for people. I mentioned earlier that she's Korean. I mean, she was born there, raised there. Like their interpretation of family and just like how you care for people around you is slightly different from the American. And that's not like a white, black, other, like whatever it is. It's kind of like an American thing. Our take on certain things is a little brash in certain ways, arrogant in other ways. They're a little bit different. And so as I watched her navigate the world with that context in mind, having grown up there and then moving here and having to acclimate to this, like her patience, her care, it sticks out so much. And it's one of those things, like just watching her operate, it can come with a price tag. It doesn't feel good all the time, because where you're a giver, there are definitely takers. And you have to set your boundaries appropriately so that you're not being trampled upon as a result, or taken from in ways that go beyond what you have to give or what you wanted to give and were willing to give. So I learned that from her continuously, and try to incorporate that. It may give over to some of the humility, some of the care that I have when I approach my work and the people that I work with, so that people know that they're always safe, that they're always taken care of, and that if anything ever goes down, it won't be because we didn't have a leader or somebody in place that had our best interests and our backs in mind. And that has been my mom. My dad as well, but like mom is very much so that. And man, it's almost to the point of it's like gift and curse, because again, it can cost you, but that's something that just sticks out about her, that I take from on a very, very regular basis.